Welcome to the Video Game Corner, where we discuss the latest and games yet to come. But before we get to that, I did finally finish the Spider-Man 2 game, the third overall in the series, and it was a pretty wild ending. I showed you guys that you get to play as Venom for that one level, and it's always cool when there's a level in a game where you just get to wreck shop on everyone, like no threat of dying. It's his moves are sick. He's just going ballistic on everyone.
It's pretty dope. Just absolutely tearing through everything in sight. Like,
it's so fun. And then after that, Peter gets an anti-venom suit, so he still keeps the venom powers, but it's like the white venom coming out of him. So it's still cool because without those, he's not very powerful. And I think I like playing as Miles better almost in this game. I don't know why. But I think I like Miles' electrocution moves because he has all that, the punches and you can like teleport almost with it. It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
In the final mission, I probably died like 20 times. You have to beat Venom 3 times with Spider-Man and then 3 more times with Miles Morales.
Oh my
and
gosh.
and then he brings his symbiote goons back to life. Like the whole city of New York is covered in symbiote like webbing and veins.
Jeez.
It's just pretty messed up. But yeah, overall it was a pretty fun game. I think the first one's still the best, but I think this is a close second just because Kraven the Hunter was pretty cool. The ending, how Kraven goes out is pretty freaking wild. Just say him and Venom cross paths.
Okay.
And then the post-credit scene, it's definitely teasing Green Goblin as the villain, Norman Osborn, in the next game, which is going to be sick.
Yeah.
I'm surprised they haven't done him yet. He has to be the next one now,
That's a perfect trilogy, though. Perfect way to cap if you're doing a trilogy. Right. You do Venom in the second one, and then you finish it off with the classic Spidey versus Green Goblin. Like, I'm there for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because Norman goes to see Doc Ock in the raft, and he's talking about something, so maybe Doc Ock comes back too, which would also be cool. He was fun to fight in the first game. And then the second post-credit scene, Miles' mom is finally dating again, and she invites a guy over, and his daughter is Cindy, who is known as Silk, I guess, from the comic books. I think they're doing a series on her too, right? That just got completely rebooted, basically.
I was gonna say, I don't know if they are still doing it. They just fired everybody, so it's one of those situations. And after Madam Web, who knows what Sony's doing?
Yeah, but so maybe I don't know exactly how. Maybe they split it up and just have Spider-Man take on. But they live in the same city together. It's kind of hard to not have them in each other's game, and they're pretty close now. But yeah, maybe Miles goes in one direction and Peter goes in the other, and there's a little bit of crossover in between.
Yeah, okay. So, real quick, out of all that, I just have a question. I'm not going to get into everything, but the anti-symbiote suit, the anti-venom suit, how exactly does that work?
Mr. Negative. Mr. Negative, who is the villain from the Miles game, he comes out, and Peter gets completely taken over by the Venom from Venom after he gets the suit off of him, and Miles has to go inside of his mind basically with Mr. Negative to help get it out of him, and then he gets and then Mr. Negative actually gives him his powers. That's what he does. Mr. Negative gives him his powers.
Huh.
So yeah.
That's intense, all right? Right?
Yeah, pretty crazy. And the one thing I didn't like about the game is a lot of the main missions were literally 15, 20 minutes long. I mean, it's fun for some of them, but every single one, it's like, holy crap, I'm still on the same mission. It's been a while now.
Straight up.
But better. I mean, it's better than really short ones, but there could be a little in between.
Yeah. If you had to rate it 1 to 10, what?
I mean, it's pretty close to a 9, I'd say.
Okay.
It's a fun game. I mean, you can just swing around the city as Spider-Man. In any combat, you're just dodging and webbing someone in the face at perfect timing, all the different moves. And it was a pretty good story at the same time. I still think the first one's over a 9. And then Miles Morales is pretty close. They're all three are really good games. But let's talk about a couple of games that have came out more recently. First one is Skull and Bones. So this is 10 years in the making. It's the pirate game from Ubisoft. They were supposed to be like a Black Flag sequel, but they decided to just go in a different direction. And the the reviews coming out are not so great. It looks like it's kind of boring. Like it's just repetitive shit battles, and if you land on ground, it's just like a tiny little city you can go to, and all the NPCs are pretty bland. So I'm wondering how that's going to turn out. And it had like a $200 million budget or something, and just and they like kept pushing the release date back. It's really 10 years in the making.
Oh,
so
crap.
Ubisoft has kind of not been doing so great lately. Well, hopefully they rebound.
Yeah.
And the other game is Helldiver 2. So I don't know how much hype this game had, or maybe the first one had, but I've actually seen a lot about it too now. And it's like an online kind of team up with your homies and, defeat a bunch of aliens or robots, or, it's a futuristic game. And it looks like the weapons are cool and everything else with it.
Dude, yeah. So this game looks sick. Yeah, Helldivers 2. I'd never heard of the first one before at all. But it's like this game is sweeping up like Warzone did in quarantine right now. Like it's absolutely all the boys are getting on right now. They're all getting on to fight for Super Earth, fight for democracy, all the stuff. Like everybody's getting hyped. It's of course trending on Instagram.
Yeah, it looks funny too.
Dude, it looks funny. It looks hella fun and intense. My buddies are playing it right now, and I'm using this right now. Use our platform as a petition. We got to get Xbox into it. It's not available on Xbox. It's only on Sony, so we got PlayStation, we got PC, and so there's tons of reels out there where it's like, we got to let the Xbox guys in. We need their help. We need the crossplay. So please, petition. We need the Xbox in for Helldivers. We got to get in there. We got to fight. It just looks like it's a blast. So I want to play with the boys and get in there and see what it's all about.
Right. We'll put a Starfield on PlayStation and we can make a trade.
That's chill. We can make that happen.
Yeah, I definitely want to check that game. You can even play by yourself too. You don't have to be online. I'm pretty sure there's like single, maybe like with the you play with the computer or AI.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I feel like it's got to be worth it for the co-op.
Right. And just some games releasing this year, some of the bigger ones. We have Rise of the Ronin coming out March 22nd. That's kind of like Ghost of Tsushima, but it's more fantasy-based, kind of, you know what I mean? It's not, because Ghost of Tsushima is just straight realistic samurai age. This has like some other elements to it, where there's maybe some magic and spells or something. But it looks cool.
Yeah.
And then we have Star Wars Dark Forces Remaster coming out February 28th. So I'm wondering how good of a remaster this is, because they have remastered other games and the graphics are still pretty shitty. But we'll see about this one.
Unfamiliar with that one.
It's a first-person shooter. That's right. I think you're a stormtrooper.
Oh my gosh. Is that like the 90s game on PC from back in the day? Like that's the remaster of this?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
It takes place shortly before the original Star Wars film.
Okay.
Before flash forwarding to a year after the film's events. A mercenary working on behalf of the Rebel Alliance who discovers the Galactic Empire's secret Dark Trooper project, which involves the development of a series of new powerful battle droids and power-armored stormtroopers. So
that's
the
Kyle
graphics
Katarn.
are actually PS5 or at least PS4. Yeah.
Okay.
What's he from again? Is he from other stuff?
I don't know.
Just like
I think
a well-known
this is the main thing from
Star Wars
this
Legends
game.
character.
Yeah, I think it's just from this game he got well known, and then they kind of.
There's
pretty
two
sure
of
he's in
them.
some novels. Yeah, well, there's a Star Wars Jedi Knight.
Okay.
I think is another game that he was in, something like that. But
That's
yeah.
it.
Yeah. Okay.
And there's Destiny 2, The Final Shape, June 4th. I've never played Destiny before, but I'm sure some of our fans are out there. It's a pretty big game.
Yeah, I like Destiny.
And then rumored for 2024, there is an Indiana Jones and the Great Circle game, which could be fun, kind of if they do a Uncharted style game.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Just switch
the
it out for
title.
Indiana Jones.
But yeah, no, that'd be cool.
And right. And of course we have Star Wars Outlaws and Hunters. We've talked a lot about those ones.
Mm-hmm.
And then Assassin's Creed Codename Red, which is the feudal Japan, where you're part of a very powerful shinobi fantasy. And that's coming out hopefully at the end of this year. And then this is not for this year, but we did just find out that a Mandalorian game is in the works at Respawn, which is of course Jedi Survivor and Fallen Order. So they know their Star Wars, and just doing the same kind of thing but with Mando instead would be sick. And the show's already a video game, so get it done.
Yeah, we were talking about that one for a minute. Like, it would be dope if they made a Mando video game like that. So there's so many possibilities and options, and like, one of the big things people were arguing about whether it should be first person or third person, and I think they should just have it be toggle. Let you do both. Let you do the Battlefront first person, but also let you do third person too, so you can see your gear, see all your Mando Beskar and everything. But that'd be sick.
Right. Because I'm more of a fan of a third person shooter, especially if it's like a character you want to see.
Right.
I get like Call of Duty. Call of Duty makes sense to be first person, stuff like that. But that's actually my biggest gripe about Cyberpunk, because you can't do third person. But I got used to it.
There you go.
Well, thank you for joining us in the Video Game Corner. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast. And today we are bringing you another edition of Week in Geek, discussing the latest news and rumors in Marvel, DC, Star Wars, and more. And joining me today is my co-host, David Cochran. And don't forget to check out some of our other episodes. We have the second annual City Awards, and our latest comic review of The Children's Crusade. And stay tuned for our review of Dune Part 1. We were able to see it recently, and of course Part 2 is coming out at the beginning of March. Gonna go see it, get a full breakdown of that as well.
Movie of the year.
Right? Yeah, Dave's got the box office wrapped up. And of course, don't forget to follow us on social media at WhySoCidiusPod on Instagram, TikTok, X, and YouTube. All right, let's get into it. Let's get into these Super Bowl trailers. So I think the biggest one, the one we want to talk about most, is Deadpool 3, releasing July 26, 2024. The first pick of the 2024 box office draft.
Yeah, 100%.
So it says Deadpool will change the universe, the history of the Marvel Cinematic Universe with Wolverine. And Wolverine is recovering from his injuries when he crosses paths with the loudmouth Deadpool. They team up to defeat a common enemy. So what were your overall thoughts of this trailer?
Well, sorry. What did it mention? What injuries? Like, what Wolverine are we picking up from? What injuries?
I don't know. Yeah, because it just says he's recovering from his injuries when he crosses paths with Deadpool.
Word. Last injury we saw was death in Logan, so I wonder what it's referring to. But no, this was sick. The Super Bowl spot was whatever. We knew it wasn't going to be the full trailer. And due to the events of the Super Bowl, depression kicked in. We didn't watch the full trailer until the next day. For me, at least personally, I didn't watch it the whole first day. I was not in a good place. I watched it right when I woke up the next day to get the bad taste out of my mouth. But it was amazing. It was exactly what it needed to be. We didn't see Wolverine at all, which I'm good with. It was a nice little tease there. We've seen plenty of set photos, so I really didn't care. It was cool, man. There was just a ton of funny lines in it. It just had that classic Deadpool feel to it. Didn't feel like it was Disneyed down. I saw some people saying that they felt like they could feel the Disney aspect to it compared to the previous Deadpools. And I'm like, yeah, maybe because the TVA is involved and they mentioned the MCU, but I didn't get those vibes. I got great vibes from it. I'm stoked on it.
No. He literally says fuck in the trailer.
Yeah. Talks about being pegged and stuff like...
Right, yeah, no, there's no way. So do you think that Vanessa's death in Deadpool 2 and him changing that brings the TVA, or do you think there's something like he's a Nexus being and he has the ability to help them with what they need?
See, that's the thing. They didn't say you went back and you changed history. They said you're very special and we need your help with something. So we obviously see that all that stuff that happened at the end of Deadpool 2 stuck because Peter and all the X-Force, they're all there. So everybody that died that he changed at the very end of the movie is all there in that scene there. So we know he did change history, but maybe it was just like the Avengers Infinity Stone things, like the TVA said. Well, that was supposed to happen. So I guess that's what the case is, and the TVA just needs him for a special mission. But dude, some of those scenes, like we see them in the same snowy field as the Age of Ultron, like when he's fighting the TVA guys or he's fighting somebody out there that's the same forest. Like, I don't know, this is just, it feels real. It feels like it's finally happening, seeing scenes like that.
Right. And do you think this takes place after Loki season 2?
Has to, right? I mean, I guess I don't know if it has to because time's a weird thing, but
I mean, right.
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? Yeah, it's cool how they showed clips from Avengers Age of Ultron and Winter Soldier, and you see Wade's salute to Steve Rogers when he comes on the screen.
Yeah. Which is funny, because in the comics, one of the only person that Deadpool has respect for is Captain America. Like, he has the utmost respect for Captain America in the comics. So I'm wondering if that's going to be carrying over into this. But we saw, Wolverine from behind at the poker table. And so there's been a bunch of rumors coming out that we're going to get multiple different Wolverine variants. One rumored to be known as Patch, and that's the guy at the casino. And people are the heavy rumor on that one is that it'll be Daniel Radcliffe playing Patch. Other heavy floating around, Taron Egerton and
sick.
Carl Urban and Tom Hardy are all rumored. Tom Hardy wouldn't make sense because he's Venom now. It's Deadpool. But yeah, so much is up for grabs,
Carl Urban would be hilarious.
Oh yeah.
But I definitely want Radcliffe.
Yeah.
And right before that scene, you see Deadpool is sitting in Hulk's bed from Ragnarok.
Yeah.
So I'm guessing they're on that. That's where the poker game is taking place.
Yeah, I don't know. That's what that looked like for sure, though.
And it looks like Deadpool also takes a trip to the Void from Loki. So there's multiple aspects from Loki going on here. You see Eliath out there, and then there's like a Leviathan skeleton and the Golden Gate Bridge off in the background. And this might where we see the 20th Century Fox logo. That could be off in the void. That would be kind of funny if it was out in the middle of nowhere now.
Yeah. No, that would be. And we saw that 20th Century Fox in the dopest shot of this whole trailer, which is the slow-mo where he's got the clips going in the air with his Glocks and he's catching them slow motion and he's cocking them with his wrist, pops the other one up, catches it, and starts unloading. Just a super iconic Deadpool like handgun scene. That was so clean. But yeah, the 20th Century Fox is right behind him when he's doing that.
That's so funny.
There was sorry, real quick. There was rumors coming out of this saying that now Deadpool and Wolverine will be in Avengers Kang Dynasty, whereas they were only supposed to be in Secret Wars. But apparently Feige was so impressed with Deadpool and Wolverine that plans have changed. But
here we go.
This is also coming from Daniel RPK, who is he's an online rumor mill who claims to be an insider, so take it with a grain of salt. But do we even know what's going on with Kang Dynasty anyways? Like, I don't know how to take that report.
Right. Well, that's true. We don't know what's going on with Kang Dynasty. I was thinking about the writer and the director, but no, they need a king.
Yeah.
Oh, shit. So, New Rockstars had a theory that the Void could be Battleworld. Like, they're setting up the Void as Battleworld, and because you do see the Secret Wars comic on the ground next to Deadpool, and that has God Emperor Doom and the Beyonder on it, and it's about Battleworld, that comic book. So the Void makes sense to have that. It does. It's out of time, out of space.
Makes perfect sense.
Big open area. Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
So, of course, we will continue talking about this, theorizing, reviewing other trailers, and we will wait till July for the Messiah, Marvel Jesus.
You soiled yourself while you were unconscious. I wasn't unconscious. Where the hell am I?
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right, let's move on to the next Super Bowl trailer. We got Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes. And the synopsis: many years after the reign of Caesar, a young ape goes on a journey that will lead him to question everything he's been taught about the past and make choices that will define a future for apes and humans alike. And this is, of course, Caesar's like baby son from the last movie that he's in. I don't know if I talked about it on the podcast, but I did finally watch that trilogy, and they were all amazing. I love the first and the third one. And the second one was still really good too, so great trilogy.
Yeah, absolutely. I always forget what his name was because I just rewatched them too. His youngest son, what his name was. It was like
Cornelius.
Cornelius, there you go. That's it. I knew it was something Roman with the Roman emperors and all that stuff. But no, I mean, you can't not be excited for it because it's one of the best trilogies out there. It really is. I've been compiling a movie list for all my all-time rankings lately, and I've been trying to. Every time I watch a movie now, I add it to it, regardless of how bad or good it is, because I feel like, well, I might as well start throwing it on there, and then other stuff I add in. But I was noticing, Dawn of the Planet of the Apes, I got it at a 9, and I don't have a lot of movies over a 9 out of 10. Rise of the Planets 8-9. I think War I gave like a 7-8. I thought War was significantly worse, but it was still a good movie. It was still really good. The VFX, everything behind it, the detail were still amazing, and so you can't not be excited for another movie coming out of this property that's already delivered 3 times, 3 for 3, So the second trailer made me more excited than the first teaser for sure. Looking forward to it.
Yeah. And you can tell they're starting to evolve. They're building ships and towns, and they're not just living up in trees. They're obviously were super smart, but they're getting smarter. Right. And it seems like they've been lied to by the elders. Like, I think the older apes are saying that, humans and apes never got along. They've always been at war. You can't trust them at all. And of course, he doesn't know about Caesar's upbringing because he wasn't even alive yet. So that'll be interesting. And this is a trilogy too, right? This is a brand new trilogy they're doing, hopefully.
Is it?
If it works out.
Okay.
I'd imagine.
Okay. I wasn't aware. Because again, I didn't even know this thing was being made until 6 months ago or something. Like, I had no idea.
Right. And Ciri from The Witcher is the girl. Freya Allen, I think her name is.
Oh.
Freya something.
Yeah. Yep, Freya Allen. Nice. She's good.
She's cool.
Yeah.
All right. On to the next one. The final Super Bowl trailer is Godzilla versus Kong. Oh, no, wait. What is the name of this one again? Godzilla?
Kong. Godzilla
Civil
times War? Kong. The New Empire. Civil War.
The New Empire. Godzilla and the almighty Kong face a colossal threat hidden deep within the planet, challenging their very existence and the survival of the human race. Ugh. So it looks like there's an evil Kong that is fighting against them.
Mm-hmm. We got a little lore to this one. So we got a teaser a couple of months back that showed obviously that iconic running scene of Godzilla and Kong running side by side, and we got a brief glimpse at the villain Scar King, but that was all. In this newest trailer, and in a bunch of marketing and promotions and a couple of the Godzilla pages I follow ever since Godzilla -1 got me looking up all Godzilla stuff, so I've been following them, and they're showing all these updates and these toy releases, so it's kind of showing what's coming next. But we have a new Godzilla kind of kaiju that's an ice titan, and its name is Shimo, and it's been in prior Godzilla lore before, and it's a massive, well, everything I just said, it's a massive ice titan, and it's apparently known to be the cause of the first ice age, described as having world-ending powers, which, let's be honest, Godzilla does too. His breath is literally atomic, but apparently it's a crazy titan, and we're gonna be getting some crazy 2-on-2 fights essentially between Scar King and Shimo against Godzilla and Kong. So basically, they're fighting evil Godzilla and evil Kong. But in the trailer, she makes mention about the Titans were around to protect nature, and the Kong species came around to protect humanity. So I'm sure this movie is going to be chock full of climate change messages where, these Titans are fighting because humanity is destroying the nature. And they're going to say, well, the Kong's fighting for humanity because they're still redeemable. So I'm sure that's going to be the human element to this movie. But
the shitty human story.
Yeah, exactly. The just super predictable, corny human element that's for sure going to be coming along with this. But the action scenes look dope. We're going to definitely get some cool Titan scenes going on.
There we go. And what killed the dinosaurs? The Ice Age.
Arnold.
Yay. And while we're on that subject, Dave, we got a little bit on Monarch, Legacy of Monsters, the Paramount Plus series, right?
Ooh, Apple Plus.
Oh, excuse me. Fine.
Wow, fine. So I ripped that show pretty good a couple of times since I've covered it. Me and Andy over at Galactic Core Podcast have been kind of talking about it hand in hand because we've been covering a couple of Godzilla things together. But I did want to say that although the first 7 episodes of it were incredibly underwhelming, except for the first episode was good, the penultimate and the finale were two very solid episodes. Very solid. They brought in a ton of the lore that I've been looking for the entire season, like backstory to the Titans, why they're here, how they've came to be here, multiple other things, and what's going on with Kong. Like, we actually got some backstory to it. We got a pretty dope little Titan fight in the world between worlds, as it is in this show. But it was a pretty cool final couple of episodes. So
okay.
I rate the last 2 episodes like an 8 out of 10 combined, but I'm still on the fence of whether I'd suggest this show to somebody or not. So,
yeah. This is the first season, though, right?
Yes, and I don't know if they intend to go a second one because this was kind of filling the gaps between the first Godzilla movie and Godzilla vs. Kong.
Interesting. Well, before we move on, we did get one more trailer a couple days later. I think Marvel was a little worried about the Madam Web reviews, so they went a little crazy, and we got X-Men 97, which is coming March 20th to Disney Plus. And this is an upcoming American animated television series created by Bo DeMaio for Disney Plus, based on the Marvel Comics superhero team X-Men. And from the trailer, it looks like it's continuing off the 97 series where Charles Xavier dies at the end. I have not watched the entire series. I've watched bits and pieces of it. I mean, I probably watched more of it as a child, but don't remember that.
Right.
But yeah, it looks like they're continuing, and it looks like Magneto is kind of in charge, is trying to try and be in charge of everyone, or is the villain. But I don't know. I'm excited for it.
Yeah, I had a weird reaction to this. Because when they first announced this, I was hyped because that was such a cool part of my childhood. That was one of my favorite shows growing up. The theme song is obviously iconic, all the episodes. So when I heard they were going to reboot it and they were going to do it exactly how it used to be, like, I just was like, that's so sick. And then the trailer dropped and I watched it and I was like, that's pretty cool. But yeah, I guess I'm not like I'm going to watch it. I'll probably check it out and whatnot, but I'm not as excited for it as if I would be for like What If or something, just because it's very aimed towards children, and that's what the point is. It's not, they're not making X-Men 97 exactly for 40-year-olds who used to watch it. It's still staying towards the children aspect of it. But that being said, the animation looks great. They look like they kept it exactly how it used to be.
I know.
The Wolverine voice threw me off. I didn't like it. It's the same voice actor. Didn't know that. He's just 30 years older and, audio is different now, but it's the same voice actor. So they kept a lot of the original voice casting. So just the concept of it is really cool that they held this all together. But the one thing I do wonder, Charles actually didn't die at the end. He was dying, and then the Shi'ar Empire came by and like took him to study him or to help him recover or something.
Oh, so
but he
gone.
didn't actually officially die. So I'm wondering who they buried there in that trailer, or what the whole plot to that is, if they're actually continuing it. But I don't know. It's just cool. It's dope to see X-Men 97 back in action.
Right. I'm sure it won't be bad, and it's just be a nice Saturday morning, Sunday morning watch.
Yeah, it'll be chill.
All right, keeping it in Marvel and big news, something we have fan casted and speculated and then stopped talking about because there were so many rumors, and is the cast of the Fantastic Four. So, of course, Pedro Pascal was previously reported to star as Reed Richards, Mr. Fantastic, in the movie. And the others had been heavily rumored for months. And it seems that Vanessa Kirby will star as Sue Storm, or the Invisible Woman, while Joseph Quinn will play her brother, Johnny Storm, the Human Torch. And Eben Moss Bachrach will star as Ben Grimm, the Thing. And overall, I'm pretty stoked about this cast. I think it's solid all around. Joseph Quinn. It's cool how you just play in one fandom and get blow up and then get to do one more.
Yeah.
Just like now Pedro Pascal has been in almost everything. Or basically everything. So how do you feel about the cast?
You know, I think so. It is pretty funny because, like you said, the rumor mill is so brutal that we just gave up. But it did end up being the main four that they were saying months and months and months ago. You know, it did. They did have it right. Whoever initially reported that, but Pedro's still gonna have to sell me. Not as a caliber of actor. I know he's a great actor. I'm just still kind of. I'll wait and see. You can't judge it until we see a trailer. We see him actually being Reed. I'm on the skeptical side of it, but I'm not saying it's not possible. He does a great Reed. I think the one I'm most excited about, I think the best casting here is Vanessa Kirby. I feel like she's perfect for Sue Storm. I like her in the Mission Impossible movies. She's in Fast and the Furious too. She's in a lot of the over-the-top action series, but she was also in The Crown, which was a highly acclaimed TV series on Netflix, I believe. So she was in Napoleon too. So she's played in a lot of stuff. She's a good actress. I think she'd be a great Sue Storm. The other interesting one, Eben Moss Bachrach. So he's most notably now in The Bear. He just won an Emmy.
Oh, nice.
He's in a couple things. He's a great actor. He was in Andor. He was the guy who ended up getting shot by a Cassian right at the end after they finished the heist off. So he's in there too. But the main thing that sticks out is he was in The Punisher, which is now canon. He was a character known as Micro, and he played him great. I loved him. I loved his character. Okay. He was the main character with Frank for season 1, but he was great. I loved him in it. But yeah, that is an MCU canon show now. So obviously, this has happened before. We've discussed it before, so it's nothing new. They're probably just going to ignore that aspect of it. But all in all, the casting's cool.
So should we get on to some rumors then? Since, things have been confirmed, we get back to the rumors.
Well,
so
yeah, I was just going to say the only things we also know that it's set in 1963.
Okay.
And it's coming out in July 2025. Those are the two things we know. The rest of this speculation. But yeah, let's hear it.
So it looks like Galactus is rumored to take on an antagonist role. Mm-hmm. I've heard like the primary villain or just showing up at the end. Who knows? And it looks like Javier Bardem is the top candidate. Mm-hmm. And he has other film obligations right now, so they're trying to figure out how to schedule it. But he is an amazing villain from, Skyfall, No Country for Old Men, multiple other things. He's in Dune.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah. And they're also actively searching for someone to depict Silver Surfer, suggesting a potential return to the character's original male incarnation after the initial consideration for a female portrayal was probably not received well. So, yeah, it looks like they're going big with this first Fantastic Four movie, bringing in Galactus and Silver Surfer. Hopefully they don't do it the first Fantastic, or I don't know if it was the first or second one, but yeah, they went a little hard too fast.
Yeah, but this could be very cool. It does make me nervous with Galactus and Silver Surfer. I hope they don't make it like kind of a one and done deal in this movie like Ultron, and then Galactus is just done or the Silver Surfer's done. Like I really hope they really sink into this and give them a long lasting, foundation for this property. But another main rumor going out there, which I'm sure you've also heard, is that we might be getting our first Doctor Doom sighting in the MCU. And
yes.
Now, some people are saying he might be in it as a whole, the last scene, or a post-credit. But they're the main rumor. And so that's, again, I hope they don't do everything at once and run through it and do a bunch of one-and-dones. You can't do that with Doom, obviously. He'll be sticking around. But, yeah, some big rumors.
I don't know, and Galactus too. He's got to stick around for a minute.
Oh, for sure. Well, and did you hear about the rumor of who Doom is? Have you heard that?
Is it Henry Cavill?
That is one of the ones. I've seen that. I'm personally against that. What do you feel about that?
Yeah, so there are multiple reports saying he has accepted a role in the MCU. And the top 4 it could be are Doctor Doom, Hyperion, Captain Britain, or Sentry. So, obviously, what's-his-face stepped down as Sentry, and they haven't confirmed a new actor yet, Steven Yeun. And so which of those 4 would you like him to be?
I think I don't want him to be in Doom. I think Doom is the one I want least, as far as that goes. I think that should go to somebody else. I love Cavill, but I just don't see him in that role. I think out of that, I'd want to see Captain Britain the most because it's the least like Superman. I know he's great at playing Superman. We've seen that before. But Hyperion is literally Superman. And I feel like it would be cool to see him in a slightly different role. I'm stoked to bring him into the MCU, but I think it'd be cool to give him something different a little bit. And actually, don't we have Lewis Pullman as Sentry?
Is that confirmed, though?
I believe so. Yeah, officially cast.
Oh, okay. So Sentry's off the list.
Yeah.
Captain Britain is just Captain. It's Peggy Rogers Peggy Carter from the What If, right?
No, it's actually a different. His name's Brian Braddock, I believe is his name. But no, he's got a different backstory. But I'm not 100%. I don't remember.
But does he have like super soldier serum?
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. He's very similar to that. But I think he has other powers.
Okay. So, is there another rumor for Doctor Doom? Is it our boy from Oppenheimer? Is he still going around?
Oh, I wish. No, I haven't heard any other specific rumors for Doom. Cavill was the only one I heard. And then I've just been seeing all the reports that Cavill has signed something. It's just not like this undisclosed secret role. But no, I haven't heard any other rumors actively about Doom.
I know, it sucks that they have to, because it would be cool to get Henry Cavill just as a pure surprise. It sucks everything's reported before it happens. All right, well, keeping it in Marvel, Mark Ruffalo was misquoted or misspoke. He said he was going to be in Captain America 4, Brave New World, and Kevin Feige came out and said, no, Mark Ruffalo will not be, Mark Ruffalo's Hulk will not be in that movie, and he will also not get another solo movie. So how do you feel about Hulk's send-off being in She-Hulk and just the overall treatment of his character? And it seems like it's over.
Yeah, I don't know. Weird. It's just super
Where's JD
weird,
at?
bro. Yeah, we'll save the rant for JD when he's on here. He couldn't join us tonight, but I'll let him have that rant. But it's just disappointing. I don't know. Disrespectful to an iconic character, but whatever. His last thing is going to be in She-Hulk bringing in his god-awful CGI son. Like, who the hell?
All right. Our last Marvel topic, the 2025's Marvel slate.
Yeah. We got a slate for it, and I want to ask a question, too, off the top of this slate here, too. We'll roll into something here. 2025 is going to be big for the MCU. Right now, we got Captain America, Brave New World coming in February. We got Thunderbolts coming in May. Fantastic Four in July, and then Blade in November. So we know for sure Blade won't happen. That'll be pushed back to 2026, so we can go ahead and just stop that.
Okay.
But Captain America 4, ignore the goofy title. That should be a good movie. Thunderbolts should be solid. And Fantastic Four, a ton is weighing on that. So this is a huge, huge year for the MCU. And it's going to be the first projects coming off of the back of Deadpool and Wolverine resetting everything. So this is crucial for the MCU.
Yeah. I know.
And,
Deadpool and Wolverine really needs to get things moving forward, and just because it's so confusing what's going on right now. They got spread so thin. Like what is Falcon, Captain America been doing since him and Bucky's show? Like, where has he been? What has he been doing? It's probably only been like 2 months on the timeline because everything goes back and forth. But still, it's so confusing. But I'm glad for I'm still excited for the future. I have not completely given up on them.
Straight up. I think we've gotten a lot of life rafts thrown out. You know, the MCU fans are sinking in the water. There's barely any hope left, and they tossed out these life rafts with the labels Deadpool and Wolverine, X-Men 97, and Fantastic Four out. And it's keeping us afloat a little longer. And so as long as Deadpool and Wolverine doesn't sink and everybody goes down and dies with it, the MCU has still got some breath left in it to fight for. So they have a fight on their hands, though, speaking of which, because in July with Fantastic Four, there's also another major release coming out, which is Superman Legacy for DC. Oof. And Jurassic Park apparently has a new movie dropping in July. But obviously, Fantastic Four and Superman Legacy is a bit higher on a scale. So I wanted to ask you guys this. Unfortunately, JD's not here. We'll have to ask him another time. But I wanted to ask you guys this. So we have 2 massive movies coming out in July 2025. Which is going to be the bigger release? So it's kind of a 2-parter. Which one do you think will do better in the box office? And which one do you think will be the better overall movie between Superman Legacy and Fantastic Four? With this cast we got, with rumors of Doom and Galactus popping up in Fantastic Four, this could be freaking huge. But this is Superman Legacy.
Maybe that's why they're doing it too.
Yeah?
Because of Superman.
It could be they need to pull out the big guns on this one, you know? So, 2-parter. Which do you think will be the better movie, and which do you think will win the box office race?
I think Fantastic Four will win the box office just because of the cast and Marvel and Fantastic Four. I mean, I'm sure the old ones made a ton of money as well. And I'm sure with Superman Legacy, when it comes to the box office, there'll be some people who are just tired of DC and the casual fans who are not aware of, you know, what's going on. They just think it's the same old crap they watched before. Mm-hmm. But when it comes to the better movie, that's a totally different question. Oh, I think I'll say Superman. I'll stand for James Gunn for once. I'll say Superman's a better movie.
I think that's a good pick. So I'm with you. I think Fantastic Four wins the box office for pretty much everything you said. DC fatigue. People are pissed about Henry Cavill not being there anymore. And then Fantastic Four. It's Marvel's first family. This is a massive step. Old Marvel heads are going to come out. New Marvel fans who love Pedro Pascal. I mean, there's going to be a ton of people coming out for this. So, and I think as far as the better movie goes, it's a toss-up. And the only thing that's going to make me decide this is Marvel's track record right now. They haven't proved that they've changed everything yet. And James Gunn's track record. I just rewatched Guardians 3. Incredible movie. I mean, it just really is done so well. And he has not let us down. Suicide Squad, I still think The Suicide Squad is a very solid movie too. So I just think with everything going into the Superman Legacy and the care that James Gunn is taking and doing this whole thing, that's the biggest thing. We know that the guys at the helm of Superman Legacy are putting their heart and soul into this. We don't know that yet about Fantastic Four, so I'd put my money with Superman Legacy too.
So to take it back to the Fantastic Four, you said the movie's set in the 60s.
Yes.
So do they not age, or do you think they'll time travel?
I think they're going to get sucked into a vortex and then popped out in our universe in the future or something. Or they're going to get stuck in like the antimatter universe.
The void or...
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Something like that. And then they'll pop out. But it does beg the question, is this going to be on our timeline? Are we going to get a Howard Stark cameo by chance? Or is this a different, you know? Like, what if they did appear in our timeline for a brief moment and then they got sucked into the antimatter and then nobody talked about them because they were like a top secret scientific deal going on and only Howard Stark knew about them or something like that? You know,
I mean, if it's on our timeline, he should be in the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, well, let's keep it to James Gunn. And he did come out and talk about the Creatures Commando series, saying it's going to be a hard R. A little brave of you, James, for the first movie, but hey, his words, not mine. And this is the first series in the DCU, the animated show. And it will be rated R, like you said, and it is the Suicide Squad-esque kind of Amanda Waller putting together a team of, black ops to complete the mission. And I do like that all 7 episodes are written by James Gunn. So that kind of comes where...
Nice.
So that kind of is where James Gunn might have the advantage over Kevin Feige. Because Kevin Feige is just a producer. He's not a director or a writer. James Gunn can... he's writing... He wrote Superman Legacy. He wrote all 7 episodes of this series. This is completely his universe. Like, he has complete control over it, where Feige has to trust other people and then come in and rewrite and reshoot. So, I don't know. I kind of like this.
Yeah. No, I agree. I don't know anything about this, but I'll definitely check it out just again because of James Gunn's track record. I'm going to give it a shot.
Yeah. And James Gunn also says that at least one of the stories that the DCU Leaks prior Reddit page shared are not true. So he said, have fun guessing. And these are the 4. Or no, there's 3. Excuse me. Darren Aronofsky, the director of The Whale and The Wrestler, is in talks to direct a Plastic Man movie. Dave's boy. And there is a Teen Titans film in early development. And there is a Sergeant Rock film in development. So we'll see. Like I said, at least one of those is not true, but one of them is.
Sergeant Rock?
I have no idea. It's probably starring Dwayne Johnson.
Interesting. Okay.
The Teen Titans film has to be the true one, right? Come on. Teen Titans.
I've heard some stuff about that going on, yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be sick.
And in Elseworlds, the Penguin series has wrapped filming.
Hey.
So I'm very excited to get back to that universe. Of course, the Batman 2 comes out October 3rd, 2025. Another superhero movie coming out in 2025. And I imagine this will be before that. Because you got to, kind of get us in between, have Batman maybe in the first and last episode if you need to. Thoughts on the Penguin series?
Stoked. Stoked on it. I think it's going to be a really solid series. I think the only question is how much are they going to bring Batman and other rogues gallery into this? I don't doubt anything else about this show. I think it's going to be incredible. Colin Farrell was an incredible Penguin, so I have nothing but high hopes for this.
Yeah, I know. I love that dark, gritty universe of Batman.
Yeah.
But speaking of Batman, our final topic of the night, we do have a former Batman director, Christopher Nolan. What was he up to?
Yeah, man. So Christopher Nolan, the man himself, he sat down with BFI recently for an interview. Don't ask me who BFI is. And during that interview, he stated that he would actually love to make a horror film and is looking for, quote, an exceptional idea. So he said, it requires a really exceptional idea, and those are few and far between. I haven't found a story that lends itself to that. It's a very interesting genre from a cinematic point of view. It's also one of the few genres where the studio, $5, make a lot of these films, and they are films that have a lot of bleakness, a lot of abstraction. They have a lot of the qualities that Hollywood is generally very resistant to putting in films, but that's a genre where it's allowable. So, my question is, if we got him to do this, whether a popular franchise of horror movies or games or a brand new idea, what would you like to see Christopher Nolan take on in the horror genre?
Yeah, he's right for saying that because it's hard to make a good horror movie. It's probably one of the hardest genres to make besides a comedy.
Yeah.
Like everything's already been done. A lot of it just comes off cheesy or too gory or just kind of dumb. The Conjuring and Insidious are kind of like an It, but that's a remake.
Right.
So speaking of It, he could do a Stephen King book. He could try to do a Stephen King book.
Yeah.
Or I think something supernatural would definitely have to be the way he goes. Not just like he couldn't do a slasher movie,
right.
Or it'd have to be supernatural with, ghosts or demons, or do a Stephen King book. That would honestly be probably the safest route to go.
Yes. Yeah, something, or an abduction thing, something like that. Alien abduction, horror style deal. I think Stephen King's a great call. I think anything he takes on from that genre would be awesome from that type of book. I saw somebody in the comments said Dead Space, which is a horror video game, which apparently has a pretty crazy backstory to it. Take it on that. That would be interesting. But yeah, I think it's got to be like a psychological or supernatural type thing. Don't waste it on a Michael, Halloween, Jason, Friday the 13th
Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah, like, but I just think that opens up such a massive window, and I 100% would watch a psychological horror by Christopher Nolan. Like,
oh yeah,
it might ruin my life, going forward because it's so believable, but
oh my god,
it'd be pretty sick.
Just some Inception ending where the guy doesn't know if he's actually crazy or not.
Yeah. I might stay up for 3 straight days after watching it, but I will go watch it.
Oh, yeah. Him and Denis Villeneuve are my definitely top 2.
Hell yeah. Yep. Just rewatched Dune. God, I can't wait to cover that. We're going to be covering that soon. So much to talk about that movie. There's so much good stuff in it.
Oh, my God.
It's incredible.
Well, thank you for joining us on this edition of Week in Geek. And, of course, stay tuned for our coverage of Dune Part 1 and 2. Ooh. I'll be seeing it opening weekend, so will Dave. Dave, you get your IMAX tickets?
Oh, yeah. Buddy Connor already got them. We're going late 9:30 p.m.
I'm going Saturday at like 3.
Probably a better call, but, patience isn't my strong suit, and it's not Connor's either.
All right, well, thank you for joining us. Have a great one, and we will see you next time here on Why So Sidious, a nerd podcast.